Shri Gurubhyo Namaha children, I am happy to welcome you all for our online teaching academy, Ekalaiva. For the class 11, subject Biobotany, chapter 1, Diversity of Living World. Today we are going to discuss about a very interesting microorganism, bacteria. In the previous class, we discussed virus. Today, we are going to learn about bacteria. Children, think bacteria is a friend or foes. What is the meaning of foes? Is it bacteria is a friend or it is foes? What is a foe? Enemy. Is it bacteria is a friend or enemy? Think 50-50. Some parts of bacteria, some species of bacteria are beneficial bacteria, they are friend to us, and the remaining part, some other different types of bacteria are harmful to us, they are enemy to us. Is it clear? Yes. Have you noticed that the preparation of curd in our home, do you notice what your mom is doing? She adding a small amount of curd in warm milk. The next day morning, the milk converts into curd. Is it right? Yes. A small drop of curd turns the milk into curd after some time. What responsible for this change? Do you think? Why it is so taste? For all these questions, there is an answer. Lactobacillus lactis. It is the name of the bacteria, Lactobacillus lactis. The change is brought by the bacteria, the beneficial bacteria, Lactobacillus lactis is present in the curd. So, the Lactobacillus is the name of the bacteria. That bacteria present in the curd, it converts the milk into curd. Okay. The sourness of curd is due to the formation of lactic acid. The curd contains lactic acid. Lactic acid is an organic acid. How formic acid, citric acid, like lactic acid is also organic acid. Have you been victim of typhoid? Yes. It is a bacterial disease. Is it right? It is caused by a bacteria called Salmonella typhi. Salmonella typhi is a bacterium. What is the difference between bacterium and bacteria, children? Bacterium means singular. Bacteria means plural. Okay. So, Salmonella typhi is the name of the bacteria, a bacterium which cause this is typhoid. So, this Salmonella typhi is a harmful bacteria. Is it right? Yes. We can consider this prokaryotic organisms are friend and foe. So, this bacteria is a friend or a foe due to their beneficial as well as the harmful effect activities. So, bacteria have both activities. Some different species, some species of bacteria is very useful to us, they are beneficial effects, and some other species of bacteria which cause harmful to us, they are harmful bacteria, they have harmful activities. So, finally we conclude bacteria is a prokaryotic organism. So, prokaryotic means they do not have a well defined nucleus, and also they do not have a membrane bound cell organelles. Okay. So, bacteria are prokaryotic, unicellular. Uni means only one cell, and microscopic organism. Microscopic means it can be visible only through microscope. It is a very tiny organism. So, bacteria are prokaryotic, unicellular, microscopic organism, bacteria were first discovered by a Dutch scientist. The name of the scientist, very important, Anton van Leeuwenhoek. Children, the pronunciation is different and the spelling is different. Please by heart the spelling. Anton van Leeuwenhoek in the year 1676, and were called animalcules. So bacteria is also called as animalcules. General characteristic features of bacteria. As I said earlier, bacteria, they are prokaryotic. They are prokaryotic organism and lack nuclear membrane. You know very well, think that it is a cell and this is called nucleus and this is called nuclear membrane. If that membrane is not clear, if there is no nuclear membrane, means then that particular cell is said to be prokaryotic cell. Is it right? Yes. So bacteria are prokaryotic. They are prokaryotic organisms and lack nuclear membrane and membrane bound organelles. The genetic material is called nucleotide. So genetic material usually we are called as DNA. So the genetic material of bacteria is called a nucleotide or genopore or incipient, incipient nucleus. The cell wall is made up of, the cell wall of bacteria is made up of polysaccharides. Polysaccharide is nothing but a carbohydrate. It is made up of polysaccharide and proteins. So proteins and carbohydrate, polysaccharides are there in the cell wall of bacteria. The most of the bacteria lack chlorophyll. They do not have chlorophyll. So most of the bacteria do not have chlorophyll pigment, hence they are said to be heterotrophic. What is this? Heterotrophic. They depend food for survival from the other organism. So they depend food or feed for the survival. So it totally depend on the other organism. That is called the heterotrophs. So bacteria, most of the bacteria lack chlorophyll pigment, hence they are said to be heterotrophic. Example for heterotrophic bacteria is Vibrio cholerae. What is it? Vibrio cholerae. But some of the bacteria are autotrophic in nature. Autotrophic means, autotroph means they prepare their own food. Okay. So some of the bacteria are autotrophic and possesses bacteriochlorophyll. The chlorophyll which is present in the bacteria are called bacteriochlorophyll, and then they reproduce. Bacteria reproduce by a vegetative method. In that two different methods of reproduction. One is binary fission and another one is endospore formation. See here, binary fission is nothing but, think that it is a bacteria and this is a bacterial DNA, it is double stranded and this is plasmid, extra chromosomal circular DNA. Is it clear? And this plasmid is also called as F factor or fertility factor. If a bacteria have F means, then it is said to be F plus cell. Okay. During binary fission, it divides into two equal identical organism with two DNAs, genetic material. So one organism divided into two. It is said to be binary fission. During favorable condition, the cytoplasm divides into two and followed by the nucleus. Okay. So that is called binary fission. So here two different types of reproduction. One is binary fission and another one is endospore formation. And then bacteria exhibit variations which are due to genetic recombinations, and it is achieved through conjugation, transformation and transduction. Here the shape and flagellation of the bacteria varies, and it is given in the picture. See here, cocci. This is Diplococcus. Diplo means two, and this is Staphylococcus. If it is 4 means Tetracoccus, and this is Streptococcus. Cocci, bacilli, spirillum. If it is in spring like structure, it is spirillum, and comma shaped bacteria, it is called Vipro. Based on the shape, it is named as cocci, bacilli, spirillum and Vipro. Is it clear? And then flagellation, flagella, is meant for locomotion. Movement. If it is present in one side, only one flagella is there, means it is said to be monotrichous. If it is present only one side, the flagella is present on the one side, it is lophotrichous. In both side means amphitrichous. The flagella is present throughout the body, throughout the cell wall. It is said to be peritrichous. If there is no flagella means atrichous. A means absence of flagella. And then very important question, ultrastructure of bacterial cell. See in the picture here, this is the bacterial cell. The bacterial cell reveals 3 important layers. 3 layers. The first and foremost outer layer is said to be capsule. Capsule is nothing but outer layer. So other name for capsule is glycocalyx. And the next layer is cell wall, and third inner one is cytoplasm. So these are the 3 layers of bacterial cell. See the picture here, children, and I said the outermost blue color, this is the blue color here, this is called capsule. Capsule is also called as glycocalyx. Second layer is cell wall, and third layer is a plasma membrane, and inside that cytoplasm is there. This cytoplasm, and this is called the thread like structure called bacterial DNA. It is also called as nucleoid. So the DNA of bacteria is called as nucleoid. You get my point? And then very important organelle, this is a plasmid, extra chromosomal circular DNA. They have self-replicating property, so that is called plasmid. Okay, and it is polyribosomes. And then pili or pilus, this is pili. This pili is essential for conjugation, okay, reproduction by conjugation. It connects the other bacterial cell wall. So pilus acts as a bridge. The first important organelle is capsule. Some bacteria are surrounded by a gelatinous substance which is composed of polysaccharide or polypeptide. As I said earlier, the capsule is made up of polysaccharide or protein. right? So protein, small amino acids join together to form a protein. So the link between the two amino acid is called peptide linkage. They are said to be so many linkage is there, so it is said to be polypeptide. So the outermost layer of bacteria, it is called capsule. It is composed of polysaccharide or polypeptide. Sometimes it is both present. A thick layer of glycocalyx bound tightly to the cell wall is called capsule. See the picture here. This is the structure of bacterial cell, and this is said to be capsule, cell wall. This is the outer layer, cell wall, and capsule is there. Outermost layer is capsule, and then cell wall, and then this is the inner layer, plasma membrane. This is called cytoplasm. So the outermost one is said to be capsule. Okay. It protects cell from desiccation and antibiotics. The sticky nature helps them to attach to substrates like plants or root surface, human teeth and tissues. This is the enlarged picture of bacterial cell. So this is called flagella or flagellum. As I said, capsule, this is a capsule, the red color mark. This is called capsule. Okay, see here. The next one is cell wall. The bacterial cell wall is granular and it is very rigid. It provides protection and gives shape to the cell. The chemical composition of cell wall is rather complex and it is made up of peptidoglycan or N-acetyl muramic acid and peptide chain of 4 or 5 amino acids. One of the most abundant polypeptide called porine, very important, one more question. So important, one more question, abundant polypeptide porine is present and it helps in the diffusion of solutes. So porine is the polypeptide present in the cell wall, it helps in the diffusion of solutes. The next one is plasma membrane. The plasma membrane is made up of lipoprotein. It controls the entry as well as the exit of small molecules and ions. The enzymes involved in the oxidation of metabolites as well as the photosystems used in the photosynthesis are present in the plasma membrane. Next one is cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is thick and semi-transparent. It contains ribosomes, like this ribosomes, okay, and other cell inclusions. The cytoplasmic inclusions like glycogen, poly-beta hydroxybutyrate granules, sulfur granules and gas vesicles are present in the cytoplasm. The next one is bacterial chromosome. The bacterial chromosome is a single circular DNA, single circular DNA, and it is tightly coiled and it is not enclosed by membrane as it is seen in the eukaryotes. In eukaryotes only the chromosomes are surrounded by the nuclear membrane, but in case of prokaryotes, in the case of bacteria, there is no membrane at all. So the bacterial chromosome is a single circular DNA molecule and it is tightly coiled, highly coiled, and it is not enclosed by any membrane. And this genetic material is called a nucleoid. As I said earlier, the genetic material of a bacteria is called a nucleoid or a genopore. It is an amazing to note that DNA of E. coli, which measures about just 1 millimeter long, when uncoiled. If it is uncoiled, the size of the DNA is just small, very small, 1 millimeter. The size is 1 millimeter. It contains all the genetic informations of the organisms. So the DNA contains all the genetic informations. See the picture here. This is a bacterial cell. The highly coiled structure, that is called nucleoid or bacterial DNA or bacterial nucleic acid. When it is uncoiled, its size is very small, that is only 1 millimeter. Okay, this is a bacterial chromosome. It is circular in shape. Is it clear, children? Shall we move on to the next slide? Yes. Very important subtopic, plasmid. As I said, plasmids are extra chromosomal, self-replicating, double-stranded DNA. They are autonomous. Okay. The size of plasmid varies from 1 to 500 kilobase. Usually, plasmid contribute about 0.5 to 5% of total DNA of bacteria. They contain genes for fertility F, antibiotic resistant and heavy metals. See the picture of a bacterial cell. This is the bacterial DNA, that is genopore, and extra one is there. It is a double stranded circular DNA. They have a self-replicating property. It is named as plasmid. Plasmids also helps in the production of bacteria and toxins which are not found in the bacterial chromosomes. The number of plasmids per cells varies. Plasmids are classified into 3 different types based on the function. Some of them are F factor, R factor, that is resistant plasmids, then Col plasmids, Ri plasmids and Ti plasmid, tumor inducing plasmids. These are all the different types of plasmids as seen in the bacterial cell. And the next one is polyribosomes or polysomes. The ribosomes are the site of protein synthesis. You know very well, right? Children, do you know a central dogma DNA is there? They have their own replicating property. The conversion of DNA to RNA, that is called transcription, and then RNA is converted into, changed into protein. This is a central dogma. Okay, so the formed RNA is usually mRNA. Okay, so ribosomes are present in the cytoplasm of the cell. Once the RNA which is come from the nucleus, it's filled here and the protein synthesis takes place. So many ribosomes are there in the cell. Ribosomes is the site of protein synthesis. From here only the proteins are synthesized. The number of ribosomes per cell varies from 10,000 to 15,000. All these ribosomes are like this only. They have 2 subunits. One is larger subunit, another one is smaller subunit. They are all lined with like this, have chain like structure. This is called mRNA. So these ribosomes are called as polyribosomes or polysomes. The ribosomes are 70S type and it has 2 subunits. As I said now, this is a smaller subunit and this is a larger subunit, 70S type. The ribosomes are held together by mRNA. This is a ribosome. They are all held together by mRNA and form a polyribosomes or polysomes. Very important 2 more question. What is polyribosomes or polysomes? Is it clear, children? Easy. See the picture here. And this is a ribosome, larger subunit and smaller subunit. They are aligned with mRNA and this is called polyribosomes or polysomes. Clear? Yes. The next one is flagella. Certain Motile bacteria have numerous thin hair-like appendages. Projection, variable length emerged from the cell wall is called flagella. As I said earlier, flagella is used for locomotion, movement. It is 20 to 30 micrometer in diameter and 50 micrometer in length. The flagella of eukaryotic cells contain 9 plus 2 microtubules, but each flagellum in bacteria is made up of a single fibril. Flagella are used for locomotion. See the picture here. This is a bacterial cell. This is called the cell wall, and this projection is called the flagella. Air-like appendages. Is it clear, children? Yes. The next one is fimbriae or pili. Pili or fimbriae are air-like appendages found on the surface of the cell wall of gram-negative bacteria. Example, Enterobacterium. The pili or fimbriae is about 0.2 to 20 micrometer long with a diameter of about 0.025 micrometer. In addition to normal pili, there are special type of pili which helps in conjugation is called sex pili and also found in many of the bacteria. Okay, see here, this is a bacterial cell again, and this is a bacterial DNA, and this is plasmid, you know very well, and this is called fimbriae. Okay, in addition to normal pili, there will be a special type of pili that is called sex pili, also seen in the bacteria. Okay. Thank you, children. We will see in the next class.